All right, welcome back to Test Talk. I know I usually do electronics, but today I want to go over something that I absolutely love. My real full-time job is in a coach building shop, so there's constantly a lot of stuff that needs to be derusted, so I've used it all. A lot of people say molasses or muriatic acid or sulfuric acid. The problem with those is the fumes. The muriatic acid, my God, it'll kill you. The prep and etch I use, it smells like rotten eggs. The beautiful thing about this, Rust911, it has no smell. As you can see here, we'll take a quart container and we'll add it to a 5-gallon bucket of water, and it makes 5 gallons of a derusting solution. So what you can do is take tools or car parts, anything like that, and you can just dunk them in there for 24 hours. It's the most passive thing you can do. Just set and forget. What we have here is a bunch of auto body dollies that we bought off a guy, and they're pretty rusted. So I just figured this would make a great video to showcase the Rust911 solution. Now, on the Amazon page, it has different ones. We actually use the one that makes 56 gallons. It's pricey, but for what we derust, we'll buy crates or 5-gallon buckets full of tools, chisels, files, anything like that. And we just literally set them in this stuff, and 24 hours later, they're all brand new. So you get brand new files for pennies on the dollar. Makes a huge difference. So as you can see, this is 24 hours later. The water looks black, but at the end I'll show you could probably use this 3 or 4 more times depending on what you're going to derust. But as you can see, all the dollies came out. They're actually looking beautiful. All the surface rust is gone. Anything that's a little bit deeper, it turns this black color, but some of this could also be paint as well. So what I do is I don't normally pull them all out at once. I just want to showcase it that way. Normally, I'll take 2 or 3 pieces out, and then I take them over to the sink like I have here. I'll take a piece of Scotch-Brite, and what I'll do is just under warm water, I'll just rub them all down, and it takes off any black rust, and it leaves it completely clean. Now, as I said, some of these may have been painted for hardy hole or anything like that, just so the bottom wouldn't derust. You wouldn't necessarily want to paint the top part of an auto body dolly, because if you're going to hammer on it, that paint will embed itself in the panel, and you don't want that. As you can see, here's some of the pictures before and after. But yeah, if this is actually frozen right here, I'm telling you, in 24 hours, these will actually move after you derust them. It's insane what this can get into. So as I said, at this shop, I'm a coach builder, so what we have is also a lot of cars that in the New England area, they're pretty rusty. So we found this 56 Cadillac in a barn, and the door was halfway up for about 20 years, so a lot of the weather and elements came in and just really messed up the chassis underneath. So what we did was we put this whole chassis kind of in a spray booth, and we used sump pumps to pump up the water from this big kiddie pool that we had, Rust911 Solution, and probably took 25 gallons to fill up the pool. And it would just spray right at the undercoat of this chassis. And as you can see here, this was left on from Friday through Sunday. I'm looking at it Monday right now. So after about 3 or 4 days, I would stop the spray. I would scrub it all down with Scotch-Brite and then hose it down and try and clean it off that way. And if there was any more rust, you'd know. You'd just have to hit it for a couple more days. As you can also see here, you see how in the quart container, it's not completely black. It's still translucent. That's how you know you still have some life left in this rust remover. So go ahead and just use it a couple more times until you take it out and you can barely see right through it. So I actually hope you enjoy it. If you're a big flea market guy or anything like that, and you find old tools that are derusted or rusty, put them in this solution. They'll come out brand new. I've used hammers from the early 1900s, and I just put them in there, and it's a little pitted in some spots, but it's because of wear and tear. But I highly recommend this stuff. This is probably the best no fume derusting solution out there. I'm Mark Laporte, and this is Test Talk.